Hey everybody, welcome back to Surviving the Aftermath. So we finally got out to the world map and we have our first specialist porter here. Now he's got suboptimal attack and defense ratings for sure. He's got good research ratings, which doesn't help us right now, but it will soon. And his scavenge ratings are mediocre. We needed our first one right away, so we just took whoever. But if we don't like the specialist as presented, we can say no and wait for another one to show up. But we needed to get it going. So we can see this farm's got some jerky, which is important because we're running a bit low on food. So we're going to send him over here. He's going to use up all of his action points as soon as he either scouts a new area, does some type of scavenging, does an attack, or gathers science. And we're going to see he can pick up 13 of that 38 jerky that's sitting there. And this is based on his scavenging skill, how much he can pick up in one go. So we're going to have to hit this farm a couple of times. He's available, I believe, twice a day when they're recovering action points. And the day is this little green circle that fills as we go. Now, we're a little bit low on water too, so we're going to actually get another water well going. And we want to make sure that these circles aren't overlapping. I'm also going to build another water tower. So if we look up here, we just got all of these new colonists joining. So our consumption's a little bit higher. We need to get those built as well because we have a heat wave coming in. So they're going to drink double the normal amount. They're going to, our crop yields are going to get hurt. And then we need to build and fill water towers and stockpile food. So we actually have quite a bit of work that we need to get done right now. Okay, so here we have enough wood. We also going to need some of the concrete. So we might... Okay, we have a small concrete ruin there. I might just build another stockpile, actually. If I set another stockpile back here... This doesn't take any materials, but then I can just set this specifically to gather concrete. When is this growing? So this is going to be done actually relatively soon, and we'll get a bunch of potatoes from that. It's not quite enough. It's not as much as we would like. And in terms of housing, we're just going to get a quick tent up here so that we can have a place for everybody. I'll put it in the back here for now. We might remove this once we get our materials up and running. But because we have this heat wave and all these other problems to deal with right now, I'm just hoping that we can make this happen. People aren't going to die from this heat wave. Keep an eye on this. So 91%. I feel like within 2 days, yeah, we're definitely going to hit this. That's going to be fine. Let's go to max speed here for a second. Our biggest limiting factor is, of course, the concrete, but we have enough of the resources near us where it shouldn't set us back too much. And if their consumption's going to double, let's see. Colonists drink double the normal amount. So right now they're at 13, so they're going to go up to 26. We'll see where we're at here. Yeah, so we're still going to be slightly under. We could argue that because we have the storage, that's fine. I don't think we need to build any more. Our specialist is ready again, and I do like that it always prompts us. It says, okay, go ahead and use your specialist. And it's like twice a day they get to act. So we're going to send him back in here. And the next one, we'll be able to finish it, and then we can send him home. That'll be a nice little batch of food, plus the potatoes that are coming in. We should be good to go for food, hopefully. We also have berries that people are grabbing. Let's remove these. This house is being built, and we have all of these materials, not to worry. I might change this work area. Let's make this a little bigger. I can't quite get that top one there, but we can get these 3. 1, 2, 3. And including this small ruin, so that actually works okay. Okay, we did get our water towers up. Now, we still have a full day where we're going to be filling this water tower. And even though we'll drop or will go over in consumption, we should be fine. We have colonists fighting. Okay. Pushing through a circle of people, you notice 2 colonists brawling on the ground. They stand up upon your arrival and go into accusing each other. One had apparently spent the entire day harassing the other, who finally snapped and threw the first punch. Both are now bruised and bleeding. So we can punish the instigator, the aggressor, or give them both medicine or let them fight. I'm going to punish the instigator. Okay. 2 colonists injured, -1 happiness to the colony. You lay the blame on the one who instigated the fight, claiming they should know better to not pester someone. In a time, we should all stick together. Part of the crowd disagrees with your decision and blame the aggressor instead, which brings some unhappiness. Now, some are upset because we don't have a lot of food. Some are homeless, but that's being rectified right now. Some are tired and some are well rested. So happiness does play into a couple things. We'll learn about that as we go. These 2 injuries can be a bit of a problem. We have them in here getting treated now. One thing I want to remember to do is when we don't have this operating, we don't have people that are injured, we're going to remove the workers so they can do other stuff. Okay, our specialist is ready. Let's have him finish this. So the farm is now depleted of jerky, and we're going to send him home on his next action, and we'll see that impact our food right away. Okay, so this is being harvested now. Let's go. Pretty soon, we'll be able to start doing some research. We can start exploring other areas of the map and looking for research that we can then pick up with our specialist. Where are we at for water? Storage-wise, we're doing pretty good. We're going to have this heat wave hit right away. We have 10 potatoes. We're going to have a total of, well, 26 potatoes, roughly. Berry-wise, we still have a few that are out there. And then this thing is... Our worker's not in there right now. Where is she? Okay. She's having fun. She's chilling. She's enjoying life somehow. Good for her. Good for her. Let's see, what else? I think we might want to get a sawmill going. Because sooner rather than later, these stockpiles are going to get depleted. It's going to be a bit of a problem. Maybe what we'll do for now is we'll start getting some roads going. And even though this is pavement, I'm not sure that these guys get any of the bonuses. Let's see. We'll set that up. I'll run this all the way down. Same thing on this side. And then we'll start moving these out to the places where they're working. So they move a little faster. Okay, so we have 23 food now. Let's bring him home. 61 food, pretty nice. And we can send him back out. Let's go north. And when we scout a new area, that uses up all his action points as well. So this is good. We have components up here, not something we need right now. We're basically going to use him to look for things until we find research. This will be the first big test, is this heat wave. It's going to be a little bit problematic. We also need to get a tool shop up and running because we're going to start running low on tools, which keeps these guys productive. And then a tailor would also be nice. So let's see. Do we have a space in here? No. We could build this on the other side, I suppose. Let's do something like that. And then we'll run some quote-unquote roads up and down here. Archie's injured. Don't like that very much. Let's get him fixed up. He'll go there on his own, and then when that's done, we'll remove our worker from here. Insufficient materials, we know that. Okay, here's our heat wave. Here's our heat wave. So water use is doubled. Crops may wither. Now, potatoes are pretty resilient. So we'll have to see how that impacts us. Man, this is gonna hurt. Look at that. I will say they're disasters that happen. They all have a cool, appropriate looking visual. Here's our water at -2. But we have so much stored, I think we'll be okay. A colonist found something. One of the colonists rushes towards you. He says that someone spotted an abandoned wagon not too far from here. It's covered with a tarp, so they can't tell what's inside. There's footprints around it, but no one could tell where they led it. Or where they lead, sorry. The colonists want to go search the wagon in case there's something valuable in it. So we would arm them with planks, but we're using those for all of our buildings. Let's just tell them to search. And they both got injured. Awesome. Soon after the group disappears from your sight, you hear gunshots. When they finally return, it's clear some of them have been wounded. People had been sleeping inside the wagon, and after being awakened by gun-holding strangers, instinctively shot at them. Strangers are now dead, and you have wounded colonists to take care of. Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep that person in the, we'll keep them in the medical tent for a while. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and build... Let's get a sawmill up and running. I'm gonna build it back here. If I bring this road around... Somewhere around here is probably good. Let's keep him exploring and unlocking these other areas. So this talks about returning back to the colony. This is to drop things off. Also, in order to heal, because you will be fighting, it's important that we go back to the colony. That's the only way that they can heal. And they'll start healing on the way, but then they might have to sit in the colony for a day or so to regain all of their lost health. So this isn't bad. This gives us a little bit of tools. There's only 3 there, so we can scavenge that next time. And then we'll just carry that with us until we find other things. Okay. It would be really nice if we could find concrete out in the world map. We do have a large concrete ruin back there. So when this is depleted, I'll probably move this and just take that. Or we'll make a larger one and hit this whole area. Let's see what's going on with our crops. So they're still growing. Water-wise, we still have plenty. Food, we're good because we got that jerky. And we're doing a little bit of hunting here. It's not too bad. But eventually, do we have any water nearby? I mean, we have this. So what why I'm looking for water is because we can set up fishing. That's gonna be tough. Okay, that's gonna be tough. There's a little bit here. That's super far away. Okay, let's keep exploring. Actually, let's grab this. It's gonna take all of these in one go. And then next time we'll hit this one. So these specialists, they all kind of have their own inventory once you start picking things up. These guys are scared, of course, because of the heat wave. Makes sense. How many more are injured? We have 1 occupant in here. Luna. We will have 1 occupant. Walking speed minus 25, max health. Okay. I'm excited to see where the colonist attributes go, making them feel truly unique. Ah, here we go. Okay. So we just had another group show up. It's 2 adults, 1 child. They have corn and potatoes. Not a lot, but that's fine. We also have Zhang, another specialist. Now again, he's got good scavenging. He's got really good scavenging, actually. He's got decent research, no attack, unfortunately, and a 2 rating for exploration. I'm going to take these guys because we need people in the colony, just period. Let's go ahead and set up another emergency shelter behind this one. Then eventually I'll take this one down. Out here, this is good because we can start exploring just exponentially faster. This isn't bad. This isn't bad. But really what I'm looking for is research out there. We're low on tools, which we know. We have that tool shop being built as we speak. Keep an eye on our crops here. So it looks like the potatoes are still doing okay. They're still doing fine. Maybe if we had like large fields full of other stuff, could be different. Someone's yelling inside a tent. Suddenly muffled cries for help are coming from one of your shelters. You rush in to look at what's going on in there. Instead of a colonist, you find a large hole in the middle of the floor. Shelter was apparently built on top of a small sinkhole, which gave in and swallowed one of the inhabitants. A makeshift ladder could help getting the colonists out without injuries, but we're one plank short. Oh, this is not good. Colonist got injured. Sinkhole then is filled up in case of more accidents. Okay, could have been worse. Could have lost a guy. But these guys are like, man, look, this fear of death, disagreement, homeless, injured. We got problems. We got big problems. I'm gonna set this as a high priority so that people have shelter. Something just broke down over here. Let's get that repaired. It's gonna use up some of the plastic. It's not a huge issue for us. Okay. Let's go back out to our world map. Hit this area. Okay, so there's some research, which is really good. The problem is that these guys have a 9 for attack and defense, whereas this guy only has a 1 and a 1. Now, the way that this works, one thing, and I think this is just a bug in this build. I think this might be the real attack and defense ratings. So you can see here, this is showing us a 9 and a 1, but when you hover, we see a 9 and a 3. We also, for us, we see a 1 and a 1 in this screen, but when we hover, we see a 2 and a 1. The way that this works is that when you attack, the way it's supposed to work is that you subtract their defense from our attack to get how much damage you're going to do. Obviously, they only have 8 health. We have 100, so we're way more durable than they are. So we can afford to fight people that are doing more damage than us. But in this scenario, it looks like we wouldn't even do anything because our attack is 2 and theirs is 3. But it's showing as a 1 here and ours is showing as a 1. So it's kind of weird. I might just show you an attack just to give you an idea of how it works, even though I'm not sure anything's going to happen. Okay, so the tool shop is completed. So now it's going to start turning metal into tools. I'm just going to leave one person in here for now and let the others focus on gathering. Once we get this sawmill up, I'll probably put 2 people in here because we just need a lot of planks. And we can just rely on them getting them from here, but this will be a little bit faster. Okay, so we're not going to have him grab those yet. We don't really need them. Let's just uncover more areas. This would be good. This would be really good. Now, there's hazards here, and they have a 33% chance of triggering, which would injure our specialist. But this, we're going to go for this. 33% chance every time we check. We'll be able to gather these pretty quickly because of his scavenging. Okay, cool. We survived. Potatoes are still kicking. That's good. This little arrow here means this is a high priority build. Where are we at here? Somebody in their building? Yes, they are. Sweet. So we're going to have our sawmill done. We're going to have a new emergency shelter. We're low on tools, but that's getting itself worked out slowly but surely. And this will build up over time. The thing is, because we all started at 100% durability, we're going to have our initial colonist tools be broken at around the same time. So we're going to need like a big batch of these. Specialist is ready here. I'll show you an attack just to see. So remember, we're showing as a 2 and a 1 here, and they're showing as a 9 and a 3. So we should take damage, but we still did damage to him. So this is telling me one of two things. It's definitely a bit buggy in this build in terms of their attack and defense ratings, but you can see here we're a 1 and a 1. Here he's a 9 and a 1. So I'm not sure why he's still taking damage. Even if this rating was correct, he shouldn't take damage based on the defense that he has. So returning back to the colony, we saw this before. Let's just get rid of that. But for the purposes of this, we're just going to say they're just going to brawl it out and we'll see what kind of damage happens. I'm sure this will get fixed in the next build. That seems like a pretty easy thing to do. Okay, once this is done, this will be, the homelessness will be taken care of. One of our children has now become an adult. Congratulations. Now, they're still not going to be as good as if they were in school. That's something we can research and build soon. What else do we want to do? You can see the roads are coming in pretty nicely. We might want to get a tailor up and running. Emergency shelters done. So we have 6, 6, and 6 here. That's 18. I'm going to actually get rid of this. We're going to salvage this tent so we can build another shelter when people show up. And over on this side, let's get you in there. So you can carry 40 at a time. That's huge. Hopefully nothing bad happens to him. Okay, we're cool. We're cool. He's going to go and grab a set of tools. Or at least he should. Maybe after his work day. Okay, sawmill's up and running. So the sawmill, you could move the work area. And originally when we built the trapper, I thought we could move the work area there too, but there's still some trees. I don't even know. We might be able to just trap without trees anyways. I don't know if that matters. It's just a slow production of food. So we have a scrapper. We have, let's see. We've got our sawmill up. We've got our tool shop. We have our recycler. We have our scrapper here. This metal is going to go soon, but then we can send it out. We have a large ruin down here as well. And maybe we'll just change this work area to hit here instead. What's going on? Rabbit season. 3 columns explain they've been working on a new kind of trap for hunting rabbits. Yeah, go see what happens. Cool. They both got radiation sickness. A lot of these checks are not working out for us, which is bad news, bears. Again, before we can even remove somebody from the medical tent, we're sending people back in. So, could be worse. Could be worse. I wish this person would go and grab their tools, because they work a lot faster. So when we defeat those bandits, we should be able to start bringing some research in, and I would love to show you that, because that's going to unlock a ton of stuff for us. That's when things get really crazy. Let's go full speed here. We'll keep fighting. So he's down to 1 health now. So here's the explanation of how the bandits work. So specialists must defeat them in order to scavenge anything at their site. Attack the bandits by selecting a specialist and giving them an attack order. The attack value determines how much damage they inflict. The larger the value, the bigger the damage. Detailed information about damage levels can be found in the specialist skills chapter in the game help that can be accessed from the lower bar in the colony view. Defense indicates how much of the damage is blocked, with the rest going through to health. If the target is still active, it'll retaliate. Once a bandit's health reaches 0, the location is free to be scavenged. Specialists can take a lot of punishment, so attacking a location once or twice is usually safe. However, defeating enemies can be difficult if a specialist's attack is close to or lower than the bandit's defense. So we know there's something weird going on there, because we can see the differences between our attack and defense when we hover, and when we see their colony rating versus when we hover. So anyways, I'm sure that'll get sorted soon. Okay, water-wise, we're good now. We don't need to build any extra. Food-wise, we're doing okay. Our production is higher than our consumption. That feels good. And we're doing this off of basically a small field of potatoes and trapper meat, plus whatever we find out here in the larger world. So we've completed this place. We're going to send him home next, and that'll actually help us a lot for building. And around that same time, we're going to have research from that other bandit camp. Let's see. I don't know if we need 5 people. Let's, I don't know if we need 5 people, like, carrying. So let's put another worker in here. Metal-wise, we're doing super good. We have tons of plastics, tons of fibers from the recycler. I think we could maybe just up our sawmill production as well. All right, let's finish this off. And then he's got, we've got 320 there. So research, he's at a 4, he's at a 3. So he'll be the best guy to grab that research for sure. You can also, if you don't want to go back into that world map as often, you can just kind of let one rest until both are ready. That way they're both going to proc at the same time. And it's just a little bit easier if you want to do it that way. Okay, let's bring him back in. He can only make it to here right now based on his action points. So next turn for him, he'll be able to go in. We could have sent him up here to start scavenging this and then scavenge this, but I really want these blocks back here so we just don't have to worry about too much. And then, of course, you have to balance that with the risk of having to fight out there. I'm going to start building some roads out this way so that once we start expanding our colony a little bit more, they move faster. And we're going to build roads on this side. Can't go through this nuclear waste. We will be able to remove that eventually. Just going to remove that. Concrete ruins gone. Someone's at the gate. Who wants to talk? A lone wanderer. Man approaches the gate dressed in a beaten and old trench coat, burying his face inside a large hood. Open the gate and let him in. Okay. Got a colonist. He's like, wait, really? You're gonna let me in? Cool. So you just got to trust people. What could go wrong? So he's gonna get 200 research per check here. And the research, the nice thing is you don't have to actually return it. So research-wise, there's a couple of things we could do. First thing we might want to look at is communal eating. This is going to get us a cookhouse and a logging camp, both of which are pretty helpful. There's advanced farming is the second unlock in that tree. Production, we could start energy, but a lot of the buildings that require energy aren't until later in the trees anyways. Example, knowledge preservation, a library requiring energy here. But you can build better housing, shanties, and tenements. These things still are susceptible to disasters, so it's not amazing. General storage is pretty good. Can withstand the elements and thieves. And then you have exploration where you can do more bartering and you can predict disasters. First thing I'm going to do is communal eating. And that'll unlock the cookhouse so we can get actual meals prepared and a logging camp. Let's go ahead and do that. And if we look in here, so we now see a logging camp. What this is going to do, this is going to cut down trees into firewood. And the important thing about that is that we need firewood to make the cookhouse active. We also are going to need corn. So I'm going to switch this over now to corn. We do have a little bit of that, but people are probably just eating it raw, which they are. We have to wait until the harvest is done before we can plant the corn, but we'll get that prepared. Let's set our cookhouse out up here. And we'll also start preparing our logging camp. Can maybe do this. Let's see. I'm gonna do this down here for now. We can always move this later, but we still have space for another emergency shelter if we want. Okay, specialist is available. Let's bring him home. Tons of concrete now. And I think what I'll have him do next is we'll go out and explore this area. And then we'll start scavenging all the stuff, assuming maybe we just get to scavenge. That would be nice, but we might have bandits to deal with. Hey guys, if you could go and, you know, get some tools, that would be great. Just saying. I might need to set up... some better storage. Tools, clothing, meds. Let's see if we put this up. If that'll encourage these guys to go and grab it. Okay, so logging camp. We'll just say this area. So that's done. Sawmill is going. Now we've made a lot of workers right now. Or we have a lot of workers. I'm gonna turn off the cookhouse because we don't need this happening right now. We can select different recipes and it tells us what goes in there. This is a vegetable stew from any combinations of vegetables. It's a hearty cooked meat stew. Fish is counted as meat. This is a healthy meal that uses meat and vegetables. And then this is a stew made from insects. We can build insect farms. Even though this says any kind of vegetable, I'm pretty sure it only actually triggers with corn. So... okay, let's scavenge the remaining science there. And if we go into advanced farming, we can build larger fields now. So I think we'll take advantage of this. Eventually, it'd be nice to get rid of this nuclear waste because it's taking up a lot of really nice soil. But... I think we'll try and set up a large field here. This takes a lot of surface area. And although we're not going to get perfect terrain out of this or perfect soil, I think we'll try building it down here. Let's let that go. Okay, so I think we'll take a break here. When we come back, what we're going to continue working on, we have our logging thing being built. Now, I don't know if you remember in the first video, but I did talk about how this bar shows almost everything, all of our resources that we need. The one thing I wish it also showed was the chopped wood. We'll see the chopped wood on our stockpile, but because it's a resource for the cookhouse, I think it would be nice to see where we're at on that at a glance. There's something else too that doesn't show there, but I can't remember it at the moment. But otherwise, we need to get our cookhouse up and running. We need to get our new fields planted. And out here, we need to keep scavenging. We could probably keep looking for with him. He's a little bit lower on health, but still pretty strong. And hopefully we'll get a third group coming and wanting to join us soon, which would mean another specialist. And then we could build another shanty. And there's a lot of things that we need to do. As we start going down into the tech tree, you'll notice that more and more things are going to get unlocked. Here's the insect farm. Here's a greenhouse if we wanted. Both of these do require energy, though. So that is kind of a prompt for us to maybe consider building solar panels or wind turbines. There's also education here, which would be quite nice. And the school does not require energy, I don't believe. So I think maybe our next two unlocks go here so that the children that we have, which is 4 at the moment, turn into better, more well-rounded adults in their old age. So we'll see how that goes.